Status, demos, topics. Status as usual, demos. Who's got some demos? Matthias, I see you are working. Do you have something new? Nothing. Antoine, I'm not sure. You'll tell me. David/James. Because I assume we work together. Yeah. Anything to show? What did you do, James? What did you do? You did the content picker. Yeah, we can show the content picker. It's merged. Content picker. If you don't want to show it, I will show it. I'm not sure we've seen it. Maybe we saw the GIF at least. And there's been some refactoring in the meantime. So that Benedek, something new to show?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, nothing much different since last week. I almost said last year. But yeah, I wrote you on Skype about the SpecFlow tests.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit stuck with the dynamic compilation SpecFlow test, but at this point I would say just F it and ship it.
Okay.
because the tests are those two specific tests for dynamic compilation are not really reliable, it seems, for some reason with the web host. Maybe it's a configuration issue. I tried a bunch of things. I don't know. Maybe you can figure out. I would feel better if we could fix the tests and ship it with those tests enabled. But I don't think that they are crucial for the release because you can. So it's pretty easy to test this whole thing manually, and yeah, it's pretty obvious that it works. Fortunately.
Okay. If you tested it and it works, I trust you.
Okay, thanks.
So status. Okay, let's see the updates then on the repositories. We have Lambic adding editor config for Visual Studio 2017, so editor config file, merge 110x into issue, which is working on. Then projection, so we merged this one from Benedek. Support draft-only queries, if you want to do projections based on drafts. Fixing repeating typo. Okay. Dependencies, that's fine. Copy pasting works fine, but not if there is a typo, so that's good. So that's it for 110x, and Benedek has been working hard on trying to make the SpecFlow test working with some issues, but they work.
By the way, the projections change is basically based on what the laser guys did, because there was already support since recently for latest versions. So I added a change to make it possible to do a draft only.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually also looking into other SpecFlow tests. You know, there was some discussion about how much time it takes to run them, and I actually found some cases. I'm specifically looking into the setup tests. Basically, there are 4 scenarios in there which can be merged into one.
Yeah.
So that's like a huge improvement.
A solution. The other solution is to, when one site has been set up, to just cache the folder somewhere and then just copy them and restart the server instead of redeploying and resetting up. You see what I mean?
Yeah. As far as I can tell, it's not necessarily the copy that takes some time, but to start the application.
The setup.
The setup. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. That's interesting.
Okay. Good on that one. Orchard core. So many branches. And lots of things have been merged to dev. So let's see what's new. 7 days ago, do not add a module if there is none. That was an optimization we talked about. Ensuring scopes are not creating from released ShellContext. So long time PR from Jean-Thierry. And yeah, now it's merged. The idea is that because there is a feature that a tenant can resolve services from other tenants, for instance, sharing the authentication services or things like this. But this is something that we already do in the OpenID. We are looking into ways to detect that a tenant is disabled or not, or being disabled, so that we can release the scopes correctly. There were some little issues, and that's all fixed. It just took us a lot of refactoring to get it right, but that's good. Creating injectable Orchard helper. So this is based on a decoupled CMS feedback that we got a few weeks ago. And so this one, creating injectable Orchard helper, is that now, if you didn't see the demo on Friday that I gave about decoupled CMS, which will be published on YouTube, I gave the files to Gabor. So the idea is that now if you go, oh, there is some readme, yes, I added that. So if you inherit from a view that is an Orchard view, then you get the Orchard property, which is an iOrchard helper. And if you don't, you can inject orchardcore.iOrchard helper, and then you get all the extension methods to get the content, to read content, do many things, to do markdown, to do all the things you would do in a view. I also added a bunch of other methods to get content, like by a list of content item IDs, and things like this. And every time I documented it, this is a little fix from another issue. The change is that now the default property is called Orchard and not Orchard core. This is the Orchard helper. Culture here is an example, and that's it. Just updating all the pages with that new helper. Okay, it's injectable. Even in any service, you can inject it if you want. Introducing ContentItem.DisplayText. We talked about it last week, and it was apparently a good idea. Well, everyone agreed with the change, so I changed it. So now there is a property on the content item object called DisplayText, and the title part is the editor of this DisplayText. And that's it. So I changed everywhere where it was using the content metadata. You see the change, it's much simpler now. Instead of getting the content item metadata, you just do content item.displayText. And the toString of a content item renders a display text. So the @ content item is super useful in some views when you just want to render the content item, the text of the content item. You see all the changes everywhere to just use display text now. Yep. Then we have, what is this branch, the red branch? Apparently I was working on CMS PR, so that's why it's red, and I was there. So this is the PR. And then we have fixes razor pages using FromRoute attribute. What was it? Yeah, there was an issue if you had a razor page that was using a FromRoute attribute. It will not work, so now it's fixed by Jean-Thierry. We have this one, upgrade to ASP.NET Core. So Antoine updated the libraries to the latest versions of ASP.NET. Handling themeless sites. What is that? Oh yeah, this is a new feature, so I will show you. So the idea is that you can have a site which doesn't have a front-end theme, and it won't break. It won't try to look for a layout because you don't have a theme defined for your front-end. It will just not use a layout by default. And then you can define your custom layout if you want or not. But yeah, if you don't, that's fine. And what it does also, it will let you reset the theme for the front end and for the admin. I don't see any reasons why you will reset the admin theme, but there is a button to remove the selected theme from the front end. So in the same screen where you select a theme, there is also a button to say, no, I don't want any theme actually. So you can deselect something. What's happening also with this branch is that the login views are not using the front-end theme. They are using the backend, the admin theme. And to do that, in every view that is rendered from the login, they are setting their layout to be layout-login as an alternate. So it's adding an alternate. So if there is a view like this, a layout like this, layout-login, it will use this layout. And I will show you how it looks like. And I can show you on a site that is already running here. Let's see. It will be quick. So .NET cms.web.dll. Nope. So this is a blog recipe, and if I try to go to the admin, there is a login page, and this login page is actually using the admin theme, not the front-end theme. Okay. And to do that, the admin theme by default has a banner and the navigation on the left. So it's using a custom layout that is the this view, the layout.login.cshtml. Okay, so that's how it looks like. And if I go in the admin, now this is using the standard layout. You see the zone here, left and right. This is centered here. I didn't want to touch that. And then if I go to active themes, there is this reset default themes, reset site theme, and admin theme. So if I go on the demo page here, it's using the blog theme as said here. Interestingly, the image doesn't show up, so there must be a bug, a regression, something weird. And if I say reset site theme with a validation, then it's no more the default. Where is the blog one? It's no more default. Okay, there is no front-end default. And if I F5 on the front end, there is no more theme. The content is still rendered, but there is no layout injected in any view because the theme engine doesn't kick in this case. Okay. Yep. And if I set it back, F5, it works. Beautiful. So useful for decoupled theme, decoupled CMS. Updating fluid because there has been some improvements. I don't know which one. Oh, a bug fix. Bug fix. I don't remember which one. But yeah, a conflict if you were using the same types with the same types with the same name but not the same namespace or the same full name, then there would be an issue, a conflict. So he fixed that, and he also merged. He fixed that in Fluid and merged it in Orchard core. These are branches. So this one reset the. So this is a fix from Siaman about the workflow activity, the for each task. This is Matthias working on his branch, which is at the top here, so lots of work apparently. Adding get async with a list of content item IDs. So this is a way to get some content items by their IDs and in an optimized way. So the only way to get multiple content items before was either to issue a query, all of them one by one. So now there is an optimized method to get items, multiple items. Optimization based on the local cache and things like this that were necessary. We merged Daniel's PR about the content picker, the icon picker, and let's see how it works. So, and actually I haven't tried it. So if I go to, did I? Yeah, no, I think I tried it. Let's see. Content types, I have an article, and I will add for the article, I could just edit the subtitle with a custom icon, but that's not what I will do. I will create a field for, say, icon. And I will select the text field, save, and I will select the icon picker editor, save. And now if I go to new article, you see the default being the heart. So now this text field, the text value will be an, well, it doesn't work, or it's super ugly. I tried it. So there is a conflict with the CSS now. Now I see that I'm sure I tried it. Oh, maybe okay. Let's see if it was that. If I click, it doesn't work, and if I click again, no, maybe there is an issue with the cache CSS, but that's weird. It doesn't work. Or maybe this is because I deployed and there is an issue when it's deployed. Maybe the project is wrong when it's deployed. I have to try that. Yeah, there's an issue here. I'm sure it's missing a CSS. Boom, missing the CSS. It was not deployed correctly. So there is an issue with the project itself. Otherwise, it looks nice, so we have to fix it, but it looks super nice. And you can see how it renders in editor, and when the editor will be nice, the CSS will be nice, it will be much better. I like it. So good thing. Comments here. Then we have Siamand. Then we have add default template to handle first level menu items without a specific custom template. Oh, this is on Matthias branch, is it? No, it's a fix. Matthias did. We merged it. There was an issue, yeah, with the icons on the first level. I remember. Sorry, Matthias. Yep. So this is their branch. Adding overload for dynamic usage of asset URL, and actually I will remove it because it doesn't work. So I think I removed it already. So I thought that it would be helpful to accept anything in when you call asset URL, so you can pass a dynamic property. But actually, this is a limitation of C#. Even if you accept an object, if you pass a dynamic, it won't find the extension method. So we can't do that. So I think I removed this overload. And though we, based on suggestion, you can use a tag helper, which is much better for asset URLs. But yeah, that's kind of sad. We have to cast dynamics into string to be able to call extension methods. So adding more Orchard helpers based on the feedback again on decouple CMS, a query content item async. What is that? Oh, this is a helper. So you can do a link query on the content items directly from the helper without having to resolve the YesSQL or sessions or content manager. And get recent content items by content type, which is usually what you want to do with content types. You pass a content type, you say how many items you want. There is a default max to 10, and it will do the query to get the latest published item of this content type ordered by creation date. This is what most usage of custom queries is. So markdown helper to render so we have the same thing in Liquid. We don't have it in Razor helper. So there is a markdown to HTML Razor helper now for the Orchard helper. This is a load async for a content item, which is made public. If you loaded a content item from the database directly, you can call it on the content manager to trigger all the events that have to occur when a content item is loaded. This is done automatically when you do a get from the content manager, but if you loaded something from the database, you can still do that. What do we have? Matthias adding DynamicCacheTagHelper. So this was also a requirement for decoupled CMS. It's a tag helper that uses the dynamic cache module. We had already the liquid tags, but not the razor tags. And it looks like, I'm not sure I'm using it in any demo here. Nope. But it works. I tried it. I think also, oh, we tried it. I think we tried to use it also on Friday, but there was another issue, so it didn't work. Yep. And this is an optimization for that, and yep, nothing special. Let's see if there is a question. Nope. So then we have adding build shape context to default location. Yeah, this is what David Owinga asked, because they are doing crazy things and they found limitations. So the idea for this one is that, let me remember, if you are targeting in edit mode another zone for a part, this change will make it work, because before they were not showing up if they were not in the parts zone of the content edit layout. Now you can target anything, and the location of the content type definition that you edit in the content type definition will still be kept. So yep, that's the change, because they are doing some content editing on the front end. And I suggested to copy paste the controllers we have today and create some fields that will work on the front end. Like we did create some widgets for the workflow, for the forms that will work on the front end. What is this one? Preserving custom shell position, targeting obsolescence. Yeah, this was in 2 steps. First making it working, and then keeping the local positions for the parts inside the zone. Fixing unit tests. I broke the unit test because of the default position. Little cleanup, which is some refactoring for the background tasks. Because of the changes we did for the shell scopes, there were some background tasks which were failing. Refactor. What is this? This is Matthias on this branch. Then this one is Siaman, and we merged it there. So Siaman, is he here? Is Siaman here? Siaman, is that here? So Siaman made this feature, which is super cool. Let me show you that. So is it running here? Am I on the correct machine? Yes. Is it still running? Yes. So if I go there, in admin, this is the blog, but doesn't matter. And if I enable the multi-tenancy module, and I will add a new tenant, okay, and so I will call it, for instance, blog 2. I will create another blog. I can pass a URL prefix, I can pass a host name, and now what is new is that I can pre-select a recipe. Okay, for instance, another blog. The same way I can already pre-select a database, for instance, SQLite. Okay, and I will create this tenant. Oh, I need a prefix, blog 2. Create. So the tenant is created, it's uninitialized. By the past, what someone will do is go there and go to blog 2. Doesn't work anymore. Okay, so nobody, even if the tenant is created, can go set up the blog 2. What you need to do is click on the setup link here, and maybe you see on the bottom left there is a token equal something, which is a SaaS token, shared access secure token, let's say. This token, if you have it, if you have the link, will grant you access to the setup screen. And this URL is rendered only from this screen, and also from a custom API that is available if you want to use it in other views. Okay. So here, if I click on the setup button now, the setup is accessible. This token is also time limited. I don't know what is the default, but the API lets you change it. Maybe 24 hours, let's say. I don't remember. So the idea is that with that feature, you can create tenants for some users, send it by email, or send it by email to these users and wait for them to set it up. And they don't have to be afraid that someone else could set up the site for them. If they want to share the link, that's fine, but that's a secure link. What the next scenario then is that it will allow any software as a service application to create tenants dynamically, send in an email the link to set up the thing, and make it all automated. Like you will go on the main screen of your site, and the only thing you could do is register. And once you're registered, you actually get an email with the link of your custom site, of your own site. And if I go to the setup, you will notice also that I can't change the recipe, and I can't change the database. The only thing it wants is what is the name of the site and what is your username. That's it. Okay. So you are sure also that the recipe that the user created is the one that you selected. A later improvement will be to actually provide a list of allowed recipes. Maybe you want to allow someone to create a blog using 2 different themes, or 2 different kinds of recipes, or specific recipes you want your users to be able to create if you host multiple kinds of sites. And it will be able to select from that. And if I do finish setup, I will get a new blog 2, okay? Which is then accessible to anyone. So that's the first step of this feature. Very good, very nice. You can imagine a workflow that will do that. That's the goal. Content picker field. James, do you want to show it?
Yeah, I can show it as long as I'm trying to get my Visual Studio running, but yeah, I can show it.
If you need more time, just let me know. So James, where are you? Make presenter. Ping me when you are ready. I will continue looking at the changes. What do we have here? Preview tenants fix, which has been merged. Fix chest, which has been merged. So dev branch, updating function test libraries. So the functional tests were not working because of bug, I don't know, between Chrome and Jest. Now it's fixed. I updated the library. They fixed the bug in an update. Fixes 4.4 when previewing template in a tenant from Matthias. So you could not preview templates if you are inside a tenant. So now it's fixed. This is a new multiline editor for markdown field. So there was only one editor before, which was the WYSIWYG editor. Now you can also edit the markdown directly just by text. Check null in RenderTitleSegments. Someone found the issue and fixed it. So because of the DisplayText, which can be null now, which can be null. If you upgrade from an existing site, it will probably be null. So this test will ensure that it doesn't fail render pages. And Jean-Thierry is working on improving how the views are found in Razor pages in general. And Matthias is still working on the content tree, which is good. Okay, James, your turn.
Alrighty, yeah, let's see. Okay, I'll share my desktop. Are you seeing it?
It should start in a few. I can see it. So does everyone.
Okay. Yeah, so I added content picker field. So if let's see, I think I added it to this landing page. Look at the content definition. Yeah, so I'll just add another one. We have content picker field. can choose if it's required, or if you want to allow multiple items, default just a single. Select which content types can be selected. And then I added, so by default this has just the standard editor, which is just going to like search the content item index table. And then there's also the Lucene editor, which if you enable Lucene, you enable the feature, then this shows up. So you can search a Lucene index, and then that has, you can choose which index you want to search. So yeah, save it. And then let's create a new landing page. And I probably already have a bunch of content pickers on here. I even added this thing. So there's one I just added. Oh, and I had a breakpoint. That. Oh, I didn't select a content type. So you do have to select a content type. Yes, probably validate that. But like, yeah, you can see here, selecting from the different baseball team content types. It's just, a single select. Then this is showing the multi-select.
Can you order them once they are selected?
No, I did not do anything with ordering. So I'm not sure if there's any, we might have to do something tricky to support that. I'm not sure if that, like the library I used for this multi-select has that feature. I might have to look at something else or do something custom.
Might be custom editors also. The one, what was it? Jasmine, we suggested one with a tree view, whatever,
right,
which was much more doing much more things than that, but would be also usable for that. That's good. And if you click on the drop down,
oh yeah, so yeah, I guess I didn't show that. You can search by title.
Yeah, you type, Nicholas, and the idea is that when you type, it will, well, this editor, when you type, will use the display text. That's why I added also the display text, because it was imitating you. And if you select the Lucene editor, then the text you type will search in the Lucene index you selected.
Yeah.
So if you want to search in Solar and you have Solar support, you can do that. If you create your own editor with Solar, Nick, if you like it. Good. That's great. That's great. And now we can reference other content items from any content item and render them. And the result of this field is a list of content item IDs.
Right.
And then in your templates, you just load them using the helpers that we have, or the tag helpers or the liquid helpers, and then render the content items directly. That's good. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Great. Thank you. Okay, so now I will reshare. So what's your next small project, James or David? I mean, in terms of new PRs, because you have...
Oh, that's a good question.
We have lots of ideas. If you're looking for ideas, we have lots of ideas.
Okay.
But it went well, I assume, like 1 or 2 weeks, and some feedback, and done. And we had to modify something in the core, but that's okay. That's good. Having the field editors now is, the field editor is super useful to be able to customize that. Some improvements also I want to do on the field editor. I think I already mentioned that. You saw me when I added an icon picker. I added a text field. So when you know there is an icon picker which is associated to the text field, that's obvious. But when you go add a field, you're like, I want to add an icon. What do I select? You don't know. So maybe what we should do in the list of fields is actually show the list of editors, and then when I select an editor, it will pick up indirectly a logical field like a text field, or at least when we show the fields, also show what editors are available, so you can see what you want, and it might be much easier. Yeah, that's good. And Jean-Thierry last week merged the same editors for parts. So if even on parts you can define custom editors. So if today, like the HTML body part is edited with a WYSIWYG, we could add more kinds of WYSIWYG for the HTML body part. We don't have to create yet another part for that. It's extensible. Or if you want on your theme, on your custom admin theme, or using a different module to add a different editor that is tailored for your own needs, then you can do that for any part. So it must be super useful. That I just wanted to mention some PR/issues that are looking nice. So this is a PR this is new, just an hour ago. Interesting. And this one 26 minutes ago. Good. Am I on issues on PR? I wanted to go on PRs. This one, the coming soon theme. So the coming soon theme, I will show you here. This is this one. This one is about a landing page, single page, that will say that this website is coming soon, and you can type an email to register. And at first, the theme that Michael provided was not handling that, and I'm like, let's do a good template and let's support that. So what he's doing now is in the recipe is creating a workflow type to handle that registration, and in the workflow there is an HTTP task, like a controller action if you want, an HTTP endpoint that will handle the fact that you type something, and that will create a user and send an email for validation to this user to be able to be sure that the email is valid that you're entering. Okay, so not to gather some emails that are fake. And so he's doing that from a recipe, and he's also trying to use the tokenization, the SaaS token, to protect this entry, because you can do that. But at least in this case, I assume that we should just require an anti-forgery token. We actually don't need a tokenized URL here. It's fine to have just an anti-forgery token. I don't know why we're doing that. But yeah, that's the nice thing with this theme. It will come with a workflow dedicated for handling the form. The same way we should have the contact forms in our templates already configured to register a contact message or to send an email also. So that's super nice. Questions? As long as the data is the same thing, I would prefer an editor over the same field type. Same field type. And coming soon. Is there anything else? Field editors list, a list for text fields. Facebook authentication we already saw, so no news on that. There were some issues also I wanted to mention. What was it? The logging, separate login services from admin and frontend. We got some comments, so apparently I got also some comments on Skype and on Gitter. People are interested in that, to have different stores for backend and frontend logins. Even if the default is to share everything, that's fine. At least to have a feature that will allow us to handle frontend logins differently. And you see that's what people already do. For instance, in Rustam is doing in Orchard 1. That there were some. What was the other things? Document. What was it? There was something I wanted to talk about, but I don't see. Nope, I think that's it. There were some discussions. What's CAS? It's like headless CMS, content as a service, headless CMS. SQLite, yes, we have issues with SQLite. So I filed 2 issues on YesSQL because of SQLite. First is that I discovered how SQLite works actually. So in let me show you something because I have it running. If I go to the admin, I will enable the SQL Queries module, and then I do a new query, a new SQL query. So I'll call it content. And if I do select star from content item index, I will save it, and I can edit my query. So no, I just want to run my query. So when I run that, because it's SQLite and I'm using, it will convert my input query into that thing, and you see it's double quotes here to quote the column name. And if I do select document ID, create, that's not create I wanted to do, that's select document ID. This UI is terrible, I need to fix it. It's quoting also document ID, that's awesome. If I say select display text, it works too. Okay, it's showing display text for all my items. The issue is that, let's say you are doing that on the document table. Well, it should not work because there is no display text on the document table. Though it works, and it sees so that, oh, it's a field name, so I need to quote it, fine. But the result in SQLite is that it's showing the double quote display text, double quote column name with the value display text. So how SQLite works is that if you type something that doesn't exist and you quote it, if it looks like some text, it will say, oh, I could not find a colon. So let's assume you wanted to type some text here. So what it actually did is like select this text from comment. That's the same thing. Okay, and again, I clicked where I should not click. I got here, select display text from document query. What is wrong now? As foo, maybe it wasn't. No, I can't even type it. Well, that might be a bug, but at least the issue I see is that it's doing that. Okay, it's then the other issue that Simon found is that if you do select star from content item index because you want all the contents and you want to order them by display text because now it's available, so order by display text. Okay, query, well, it works. Well, it looks like it works, but it doesn't work because actually what the order does on a string colon in SQLite, it's not case insensitive, and even worse, it's not alphabetical order. So if you put some string, it's not doing it alphabetically, it's doing it by like ASCII code. Like the A uppercase is greater than the Z lowercase. Okay, so you get all the A uppercase, then all the Z uppercase, then all the A lowercase, and all the Z lowercase. That's how it works. That's how it orders things. So that's not what you would expect. So there are options when we create table to have the casing used, and also well, to be ordered alphabetically by actually making it case insensitive. So that are 2 different things in SQLite that Simon found last week by trying to do things with it and display text. Interesting. I think that's all my topics. Other questions? So I'm fixing it in YesSQL. Some new things in YesSQL. So by the way, the stuff I showed you with the coding is already fixed by Hisham. His GitHub alias is HishamCo. What it changed is that now we are using the square braces because SQLite supports that, and also the backticks for compatibility with MySQL and SQL Server. And when you do that, if the colon doesn't exist, it won't try to convert it to a string. So that's solving the first issue. And we'll soon have the fix also or the change to have a new different storage for the strings that will solve the order. I also fixed 2 things on YesSQL. Let me show you. That might be useful for the ones who develop modules. So the thing I changed is this one. Compiled queries. I did compiled queries to make link queries faster. So how it works is you have an interface called Iconpicker, and in your code you create a class like where is my class? Like this one. Let me show you. Like person by name or age query that implements Iconpicker that will return a person, and it has to have a query function. And well, maybe I should make it here. It will have a query function, if I can find it. Where I put it here. Query function that returns the expression that you want it to do. The nice thing is that now you can instantiate that class with different values of age and name, and the query will be adapted based on the age and name of the instance that you are using. But the expression tree won't be reparsed or reevaluated to create a SQL query. It will reuse the same SQL query with the parameters. It will just update the parameters that you are using it. So it should make the queries much faster. I tried it on a perf scenario this morning, but I found a bug actually with that on SQLite under load. Well, not under load. If you actually run the same query like 1,000 times, 100 is fine. 1,000 it will break with a SQLite exception. Expression tree is too large, so I have to check why. But yeah, once it's done, it should make the perf even better because we are using link queries everywhere, and at least for the most common ones, like the content item one, the one that will display stuff by the author route to the content item ID, this should make things much faster. This should be a bottleneck actually. Not that it's not already super fast. I don't know what, but I run some perf, that's why you will see before and after, OC before, OCB after. I'm getting 2,500 requests per second on this machine using SQLite to display a content item on the front end. So that's super good, super fast. That's it. Questions? No questions, no comments. Everything is awesome. Next, next, I have no plan next. We'll see. I don't know what I will work on this week. I know Jean-Thierry is working on fixing the views and background task and maybe distributed services. Nick will merge GraphQL very soon. And what else? Matthias will merge content tree very soon. James and David are looking for an awesome ID to implement for next week. And Benedek will ship 1.10.3. And Antoine find all the bugs that we have in Orchard. Good? Everyone has something to do. It's beautiful. Andy, is that you? Will? Andy, I see Andy is here. Every time, not sure that's him, but when you see a will here, it's Andy. His name, no, I don't think his name is there. Yep, okay, good then. So thank you, and see you on Thursday, maybe for a demo on Friday or next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.